I can still see him, his eyes shining at us through his spectacles, and his voice trembling with emotion as he asked, "You'll all go, won't you, lads?" In fact, one of our class was reluctant and didn't really want to go with us. That was Joseph Pym, a tubby, cheerful chap. But in the end, he let himself be persuaded, because he would have made things impossible for himself by not going. Maybe others felt the same way as he did, but it wasn't easy to stay out of it because at that time, even our parents used the word coward at the drop of a hat. People didn't have the slightest idea of what was coming. As a matter of fact, it was the poorest and simplest people who were the most sensible. They saw the war as a disaster right from the start, whereas those who were better off were overjoyed about it, although they, of all the people, should have been in a far better position to see the implications. Kaczynski says it all to do with education. It softens the brain. And if Katz says something, then he has given it some thought. Oddly, Bam was the first one to be killed. That afternoon, we suddenly hear him shout out, shout out, and saw him crawling around in no man's land. He had only been knocked unconscious. Because he couldn't see and was mad with the pain, he didn't take cover, so he was shot down from the other side before anyone could get out and fetch him. That can't be linked directly with the Cantoric. Of course. Where would we be if that counted as actual guilt? Anyway, there were thousands of Cantoric, all convinced that they were acting for the best, in the way that was most comfortable for themselves. But as far as we're concerned, that is the very root of their moral bankruptcy. They were supposed to be the one who would help us 18-year-olds to make a transition, who would guide us into adult life, into a world of work, of responsibilities, of civilized behavior and progress, into the future. Quite often we ridiculed them, but basically we believed in them. In our mind, the idea of authority, which what they represented, implied deeper insights and more humane wisdom. But the first dead man we saw shattered this conviction.